Greetings, I am Azaria Austin, a third year business student from Tallahassee, Florida, and today I will be talking to you all about international marketing. Now, what is international marketing? International marketing is multinational process of planning and executing pricing, promotion, distribution of ideas and goods and services and whatnot. And so my article that I picked today was international sports marketing, practical and future research. And so that article talks about specifically how sports are marketed on an international level and how Western sports are becoming a part of European cultures. And so international sports marketing basically entails how athletes are marketed overseas and how they're marketed here, and so and the avenues that they can go through to get marketed overseas. And so an example of international sports marketing is the NBA. So the Houston Rockets, they celebrate Chinese New Year, and so with that they come out with special Mandarin jerseys that they wear for a set amount of time for games during the regular season. And then they also have a Mandarin radio show that they broadcast their games through. And they have the Houston Rockets have their website, but in Mandarin. And they also do they play games with teams overseas, specifically in China. And so that's just one example through the NBA. And then the NFL, they do games in London at Wembley Stadium that sell out every year, and they only do it like twice a year. So it's become really, really big overseas. And international marketing can be done through sports or with sports. And so an example of it being through sports would be David Beckham. He's a very famous soccer player, obviously, and he was able to come out with a perfume line because he was a famous soccer player, and he's a very handsome man. And so and he came out with the fragrance because he used his platform of sports to get him to the fragrance and make more money. And then you can also market with sports, and you can have a company, say like Chick-fil-A, if they wanted to buy the rights to a stadium in like for the Houston Rockets, for example, since we already talking about them, if they wanted to buy the rights to the stadium, it would be Chick-fil-A Stadium. So their name is on that forever. And that's one example of how you can market with sports.
过年好。
哎呀，太早了！过来。
羊年贺岁 Happy Chinese New Year from the NBA.
Also, with the sports industry being worth upwards of $140 billion, you have to think about the economic conditions when you're marketing said sports. So for the NFL, for example, if they're marketing their sports in London at Wembley Stadium because that their economy is good, the people are doing well in that area, so they're able to use their leisure time and their discretionary funds to go and buy tickets to sports games at that big and sell it out every year. But if the NFL would try to market a game, say in Yemen, where they're having famine and hunger and things of that nature, that would be a total bust. It wouldn't even work. If you have a place that's doing really well like London and a place that's doing horrible like Yemen, so obviously the more viable place for the sport to survive would be London. And you have to take things like that into consideration, because if you don't, then you're running ads and commercials and you're printing out billboards and you're buying TV slots for nothing because no one's going to watch or go to the games. So that's lastly, with international sports marketing, back to the NBA example with the Houston Rockets, they're making it intriguing for Asian people to want to watch their games because, okay, they have they have the jerseys in Mandarin, they have a Mandarin radio show, they have the website in Mandarin. They're giving people chances to at least look and be intrigued. And so if I'm Asian and I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh, okay, well they're not just putting it in English and they know I can't read it. You know what I'm saying? They're making it easier for people to become acclimated to the sport and make them want to watch it. And so that's another key point in international marketing, is not just trying to push out someone else's culture and put yours in. You have to intertwine them together. You have to make it to where it'll last in that country. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you all enjoyed. Have a wonderful day.